Is the government trying to take away your Xbox?
Ultimate Fact Checker 3!
Check out this tweet from Senator Ted Cruz, who writes, "First gas stoves, then your coffee, now they're gunning for your Xbox." What is Cruz talking about here? And who is gunning for your Xbox? And what the heck does he mean by gunning? Time to find out, is this legit? Hey guys, it's Isaac, and welcome back to Is This Legit? A series brought to you by MediaWise and PBS Student Reporting Labs, where we fact-check viral misinformation and teach you ways that you can do it on your own. So back to Cruz's tweet, which links directly to an article on a site called theblaze.com. I've never heard of theblaze.com, so I did a little investigation. The first thing you want to do when looking into a claim is ask yourself, who is behind the information? Usually sites like these have an about page, which can tell you who owns the site, what their mission is, and how they're funded. Reading this page can help you figure out if the source has any biases or political leanings. Blaze Media describes itself on its About page as "for people who love America," and refers to itself as alternative media, and says that it tends to fall somewhere on the center right to the right of the modern American political spectrum. But you should always go a step further. Leave the page and search for more information on a source. Don't just take their word for it. I did a keyword search for "what is the Blaze" and came up with a lot of results. But here's a tip to help you decide whether a source might be reliable, even before you click on one. Click on the three dots next to the suggested article. This is Google's About Result tool. A box will pop up which gives you some basic background information, including who owns it and how long it's been around. And if you click on the More About This page, you can find out even more about the source. I checked the media bias link. One rated it as right, while the other rated it as hyper-partisan right with mixed reliability. Anytime you find out that information comes from a biased source, that's a red flag. But remember, just because an article comes from a source with a partisan leaning view, it doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't reliable. It's up to you to fact check it. So back to the article. The headline says, "Xbox will force gamers to power down to fight climate change," touting the first carbon-aware console. It also says that Microsoft claims that if gamers use their proposed power-saving methods for a year, it is the equivalent of planting one tree. But in his tweet, Cruz uses the phrase "gunning for," which implies that someone is coming to take your Xbox, and there is nothing at all in the article that says this. But let's do a little more digging. In this case, we used a media literacy skill called reading upstream, a term coined by the Stanford History Education Group. To do this, you go directly to the primary source, as opposed to reading other secondhand pieces about the topic. The Blaze article links directly to a press release from Xbox. The press release is actually what set off the controversy in the first place. According to Xbox, this update will make the console more energy efficient. Previously, Xboxes would do updates at night when the user wasn't using the device. But now, Xboxes will do updates when the energy used will be the most renewable. The press release says some Xbox consoles will also use a shutdown mode when the Xbox isn't in use, which lengthens the time it takes for the console to boot up. However, this shutdown mode will not affect the performance of the consoles while in use. So it's pretty clear what the update does. But just for good measure, let's check out another source. I did a Google keyword search for Xbox Update Sustainability Energy Saver and found this article from The Verge. I was not familiar with this source, so I used About This result again, and bam! The Verge, which is owned by Vox, skews left but is considered reliable analysis fact reporting. So, I clicked on the Verge article. It explains that Xbox One users will have the ability to set active hours when they are most likely to use the console. The Xbox will then only update outside of the active hours. But just as before, there is no indication in this article that anyone is gunning for your Xbox. And now for our rating. The claim by Senator Cruz needs context, since the phrase "gunning for your Xbox" is misleading. Cruz makes it sound like someone is trying to take your console away, ban it, or somehow regulate it. This is not the case. Xbox is simply updating the software of its devices to make them more energy efficient. Bottom line, sometimes people, including pundits and politicians, use language in their posts that is designed to make you angry or upset. So when that happens, it's always best to fact check the information before sharing. Well, one case of misinformation squashed, a million more to go. Thanks for watching, and remember to tag any misinformation you encounter with the hashtag #IsThisLegit. See you next time.
Don't compromise, beat me